Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily if you're new here. Today's video is going to be a 24-hour readathon. I am so excited to be filming this. I feel like I've been so absent on YouTube and I do apologize, but I have started a new job and my routine has just gone completely out the window. I have just been binging Revenge, the TV series, which I'm absolutely obsessed with at the moment, but I was like pretty much hyper fixating on that for a week, so I haven't really done anything. I haven't read really anything either. I did finalize reading through my first proof copy of my novel, so I will be talking about that very soon. Once I finalize the editing process, then I'm going to talk more about it because I have some really exciting things to chat about in regards to my novel, and I have character art that is being commissioned currently, so it's all happening and I'm really excited to show you guys that side of my life and the process of getting that published, but that is not relevant to this video. I am doing a 24-hour readathon. It is currently 11:30 in the morning on Saturday, so I'm going to be reading through until 11:30 tomorrow morning on Sunday, and I am just going to see how much I can read in the 24-hour period. I'm not going to be timing myself or not sleeping because it is extremely important that I sleep, considering I have to commute 45 minutes to work every day, so I don't want to be tired by Monday with work. So I'm just going to be reading for 24 hours, just seeing how much I can get done in the 24-hour period. I am really excited. I'm going to be doing some sprints later tonight with Leah from Endless Pages, so she's also going to be reading with me on sprints. So I have a few books on my TBR that I want to get through hopefully in the next 24 hours. So the first book on my TBR is What Moves the Dead by T.Kingfisher. This is on my Kindle. I have borrowed this from Libby. Also, I changed my Kindle stickers up and they look so freaking cute. I have all my favorite things on here at the moment. So we have like Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen, we have a little Hello Kitty Spider-Man, I choose Smart, my emotional support Kindle, Jack from The Shining, and then I just have some cute little flowery, whimsical. It's all just meshed into one, like all my favorite things meshed into one. But yes, I'm going to be reading What Moves the Dead first. I have been really anticipating reading this book. I requested the hold on this like weeks ago now, ever since the sequel has come out. I think it's a sequel from the first book, so the second book's only recently being released. Now I know the premise of this I know that this is heavily inspired. It's a reimagining of The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe, and I did read that short story and I really enjoyed it, so I'm hoping to expect the same eerie atmosphere, like grotesque, unsettling vibes that Edgar Allan Poe's writing gives. So that's really I know about What Moves the Dead, but I am really excited to read this nonetheless. The other book that is on my TBR I want to read is The Library at Mount Char, and this was recommended by Carrie from Carrie Can Reads. She read this a few months ago and really enjoyed it, even though the contents of this novel is quite unsettling and like weird and unhinged from what her review gave, I think, from what I remember. But this book is that's insane. So this is like a fantasy horror thriller, I think, maybe like literary fiction, all meshed into the one book. I don't know, but I've had a few friends who have read and rated this book 4 to 5 stars, so I have a feeling that I'm going to enjoy it, but we will see. So those are the two main books that I want to read in this vlog. I am going to be starting with What Moves the Dead. I am really excited just to sit back now and read, might grab some snacks and just like chill out. I've done my house chores for the day. I am just really excited to read now since I have the time. So that is the plan. If I do end up finishing these two books in the next 24 hours, I would like to just continue reading Vampire Academy. Is it Last Sacrifice? Book 6? Is it? I don't even know. I think it's Last Sacrifice. So I'm up to the last book in Vampire Academy and I'm really sad about it, but I'm excited to finish the series off. So that will be another book that I will be working through if I have the time. So yes, a long introduction, but this is the contents of the blog. I hope you guys stick around. I will check back in with you guys once I get maybe halfway through What Moves the Dead, and we'll go from there. Don't mind the mess in the background, but I have just started sprinting with Liv, so we are going to be sprinting on YouTube, continuing on with What Moves the Dead by T.Kingfisher. I'm currently up to chapter 6, so it's about 60 odd pages in. I did not know that it was in the same world as The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. We have Roderick and Madeline as well that are in this story. So it's really intriguing. I'm intrigued to see how this story will end, considering I know how The Fall of the House of Usher ends as I've read the short story. But I'm enjoying the writing. It is definitely unsettling and grotesque, and the descriptions of the way that Madeline and Roderick are looking right now is very disturbing. For instance, they are absolutely withered, like basically are on their deathbeds because of the house itself, and I'm pretty sure this story follows the fungus infection that has overrun the lake, and I think that that's the water that they have been consuming, and that's what's causing them to be really sick, but we haven't really found that out yet. It's just very disturbing and unsettling. I am eating my chips, so I have some Red Rock Deli sea salt chips, and I also have my favorite dip, corn relish. So that is my snacks for the afternoon. I also have sour Skittles and a Pepsi Max that I'm drinking, so that is my motivation to read for the remainder of the afternoon. Okay, so I'm 50% in, and why do hairs play such an important role in unsettling descriptions? Like hairs as an animal and them just watching attentively, like it's very unsettling to read. So obviously our main character is trying to figure out what is wrong with Madeline. He's come because she wrote him a letter saying that she was really ill, and so now he's starting to kind of put together little clues that have to do with Madeline and the hairs that are in the community, and they're weird. The locals say that they're possessed, but he doesn't believe in any of that sort of thing, so he's going to try and hunt one down, but they're just very creepy from the descriptions in this book. But I'm really liking it so far. I am intrigued to see what he uncovers with the hairs. Another thing too is I feel like something else is going to be uncovered soon, because in this sentence, my hearing began to slowly return to normal, but the skin crawling sensation that something else is capitalized, like the S and the E, so I feel like that's going to be something important is going to be uncovered soon, did not subside. So something else is there, because why else would something else be capitalized if it doesn't play an important role? Interesting. Okay friends, so I'm coming on here to do another little update with how I went with my reading last night. So I did end up finishing What Moves the Dead by T.Kingfisher, and I ended up giving it a 4 stars. At first I was a bit skeptical about how to feel about this book, as I have read the original short story of The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. So I was like, this book is reading like the short story, and I was like, where is T.Kingfisher going to go with the plot of this book, and how is it going to be different from the original short story? So yes, it's obviously a novella length, and there was a lot more descriptions and more questions that were being answered throughout this book compared to the short story. So like what the author note as well as what T.Kingfisher wrote. For example, Madeline in the short story, we knew she was sick, but we didn't know why she was sick and how it happened. We just know that she died. And so seeing it, how it played out and what actually happened to Madeline and how sick she actually was and what was causing that illness all the fungus as well, the unsettlingness of the atmosphere, the hairs, like everything that was incorporated into this short story was very atmospheric and quite creepy and unsettling and disturbing, grotesque, just like the short story. Edgar Allan Poe's writing was phenomenal in the terms of being like grotesque descriptions, but T.Kingfisher can also write really grotesque descriptions. So I was definitely like creeped out, and towards the second half of the book I really liked where the plot was going. I knew it was actually going to happen as I obviously have read the short story itself, but I liked T.Kingfisher's spin on the original work, and I like how she wrote in the author's note that that's what she wanted to do. Like she had reread The Fall of the House of Usher and wanted to just really continue on with that and answer some of the questions that she had herself. She wanted to delve more into the depths of the story itself, and I really like how she did that, and yeah, it was a really good time. So I had a lot of fun with this. I really liked the ending. I like how it's kind of like a unfinished story. Obviously there is a sequel out for this book now, so I will be picking that up today because I actually want to read that next. But that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'm going to be going to Big W and picking up the second book in the is it the Sword King series? But yes, that is my little update. I really enjoyed it. It was a 4-star read, so I'm glad that I read it. Okay, so don't mind how I look right now. I have been lounging around all day, but I have started reading What Feast at Night by T.Kingfisher. So this is the second book in the Sworn Soldiers series. So this is the second book on from What Moves the Dead by T.Kingfisher, which was a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher. I gave it a 4 stars and really enjoyed it. This book follows Easton Still, the main character from the previous book in the series, but we are now back in Galician, which is his original country, and weird things are starting to happen around his home. He lives in a hunting hut, like a cottage style type of place, and his caretaker died a few weeks before he arrived back at the hunting cottage, and so he went and visited the caretaker's daughter and found out that he had died from a lung disease or something like that. But weird things are now starting to happen, and the folks around the town have been saying that the Moroi were visiting corridor? I forget the name of the man, but when the man was on his deathbed, he was basically saying that this Moroi was visiting him in his dreams, and what happened was that the Moroi is a folklore tale, like a myth in the Galician legends, and that the Moroi comes and is disguised as a moth but will then transform into a woman who sits on top of their chest and like slowly kills them. So that is like the folklore element of this book so far, but I am enjoying the writing style. We obviously continue on in Easton's POV, but we are being told from the point that he has now already written this story and is retelling the events that occurred. So I do like T.Kingfisher's writing style. I think it's really interesting. I'm loving the atmospheric, unsettling vibes that this is giving me, like What Moves the Dead did. It's definitely the same sort of eerie elements to this story as well, but it is different again. So there is obviously referrals back to the events that happened with What Moves the Dead, but this is following a whole new storyline. Different disease, parasite that's like happening to these other people. So now they're trying to investigate what's happening. Miss Potter is back. She is visiting Easton and his companion Angus. Yeah, so it is Angus. So Angus is back with Easton and Miss Potter is back as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens next. But they have another 2 people that are helping them around the cottage, so weird things are starting to happen now, so I will keep you guys updated with how it's all going. Okay vlog, so I thought I would finally close this vlog off, as I have been filming this vlog for like 2 weeks now. I apologize, life is just busy and I don't have a lot of time to film or read, vice versa. So anyways, I did finish reading What Feast at Nights the night before last night. I ended up giving it a 4 stars, as well as What Moves the Dead. I honestly really am enjoying this series so far. I really like T.Kingfisher's writing style. I like the horror, grotesque elements that are a part of this series itself, and I did like the folklore that was focused for the Galician folklore and the horror elements that were incorporated through this story. Obviously it was continuing on from the events that happened with What Moves the Dead, so we had references to Roderick and Madeline Usher, but it's different again because we're following Easton, our main character, and he went back to his hometown, but there was like this myth folklore that was very much incorporated, very unsettling and creepy, and I really enjoyed it. So I will be continuing on with so I will be continuing on with this Sworn Soldier series when the next book comes out. But overall, I've been really enjoying T.Kingfisher's writing, and I definitely will be picking up more of T.Kingfisher. I am aiming to read more of her backlist now, since I have started the first 2 really anticipated reads for me by T.Kingfisher, as her other books are more like fantasy based than horror. This was like definitely like horror, fantasy horror, but I really enjoyed it. So that was that. But yes, that concludes the end of this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow if you enjoy this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.